All right. Good afternoon, Jacksonville. This is Bernadette. Today is Friday. For those of you who are working jobs, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, sometimes 80, I feel for you. I know you got to do what you got to do, but I'm praying for you. I'm sure you are very glad to see Friday, any day that you can take off. All right. I'm here today. It's kind of laid back for me today. I've been kind of under the weather, a little slow. Then the age kind of kick in, make you feel like you're older than you are. I had to take some time off the rest a little bit. I'm doing better. Wanted to drop by and give some updates and let you know what we're going to be doing going forward. I appreciate those of you who have been supporting me in my fundraiser. We officially ended it last week on the 15th. Oh, I think that was the week before. Um, whatever time it was the 15th of this month. And we have what we've needed to continue our conquest. Um, there's a lot more that goes into the project because it's a pretty big project. Let me kind of give you a little heads up of what's involved with that book contract with the big network. There is a television promotion part of the contract, and it's most people know understand television is expensive. I got it at a very good price for the kind of marketing platform that I need for the book to be marketed and introduced to the public. It's a grand contract, and I am very pleased to have been offered it through this network. Um, some of you know who it is. I'm not particularly wanting to get into details about that yet until I have secured the actual part of the television contract on there so that we can start to be a little bit more verbal about things. Sometimes you just kind of keep things on the wrap as you're going, and that's about what the position I am right now. But let's just say this: all is well, God is good, and we are looking forward to trying to be done with everything by the end of September. I had said initially September would be about the release date for the book, and we will see. Look like we might still be on schedule. I don't think we're going to have to go any further out. If we do, I'll let you know. So again, I want to thank you for your support and your dollars. Your dollars matters. I got this little statement. I say, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And the Bible says money is the answer to all things. And I got the money to answer some things that I need to have answered. Thank you so very much. And God bless you very much. I look forward to developing a closer relationship with you as we're going. This book, To Tell the Truth, The Chains Are Broken, is not the only book that I've written. I've written several others. I don't think I have. Oh, here we go. Yeah, one has already been published. This one, it may be backwards on your screen. Probably sure it is Writing the Vision, Making It Plain, Understanding Marriage, Vision, and Purpose. This book is going to be revised. When I wrote this, I was so full and so rich with revelation and experience after having gone through a very bitter divorce and separation from my children. It seems that during that time in my life, God allowed me to have some quiet time. Sometimes God will pull you into situations that seems very, very painful, but it was to draw me to Him, to get close to Him so I can hear Him. And those 30 days after I came back to Florida, I was kind of forced to leave my career in California. I was doing some things I would have thought that I'd been on top of the world with what I was doing. And some of the things I was doing was very notable. Those that know me in California know what business I headed up was my business. I was the CEO of that company, J Group 2 International. And we were dealing with multi-million dollar clientele to find funds for their projects. So when I had to go through my divorce and the situation got real touch and go between my ex and I, decided that our agreements were not more important than what other people thought, that I had to go through some awful things. Sometimes it was very painful for me. I was very, very much in pain emotionally. I never cried so much in my life, I don't think. And when the Lord just seemed fit, I had nowhere to go. I tell that story in my other book. I don't have a copy of it in front of me, but it is available on the Google Play ebooks, and it's called "I've Got the Right One Now, Baby." And that one's about my second life with the love of my life, Mr. Rarick Andre Davis. And in that book, I also describe what was going on in my life during that time. And that one, it's a one of those feel good, tearjerker type love stories. But I take you on the ride. You go on the ride. You're going to feel like you are actually living through the process. Um, those of you who want a good romantic story, clean, and something to bless your spirit, to encourage you, get that book. It's $7.99, I think, for an ebook digital copy through Google ePlay. That one probably won't be um, available for print until maybe later this year. I'm trying to work on some things with the books that I already have out. So anyway, I was in a quiet place of isolation. And sometimes God can only get your attention when He snatches the rug off from under you and lets you know that, hey, I need your attention. You're trying to go where I want you to go, but you're leaving me out of it. And in order for me to get the glory in your life, see, I made some promises to you, and I don't go back on my word. You told me to keep you and to guide you, and that you wanted to do my will, and that you wanted to say yes, Lord, and you wanted to know what I was about, and all those wonderful things you said. And when I took up my part of the deal to keep you in spite of yourself, see, I'm faithful. I'm going to keep you. If that keeping happens to mean that you endure a little bit of struggle. And boy, did I go through. That was some of the most challenging times in my life. I would love to share that information, and that's in the story of my life and my journey with those of you who um, know people or have ministries, women's and women ministries, or whatever these things that we do in our churches now, all these auxiliaries and meetings we do. And some of them is good, some of it's a little much. But I'll be glad to come and talk with you and share with you my life. And God does things with purpose because His will is going to be done. And you know, even with the pain and the hurt and the heartache and the tears, and I cried, I'm grateful that God allowed me to experience what I did because it taught me what I know. Now, I have a story, I have a testimony, I have a message. The mess turned into a message, the test turned into a testimony, and God gets the glory. So, I would love to share with you all more. I'm working on some projects where I'm wanting to become a little bit more verbal and focused in the city of Jacksonville. This is a large city, great opportunities here for ministry. If you are looking for something to do, it is something to do here in this city. There's a lot to be done. So, and I'm looking forward to meeting with you, sharing with you the television commercial that we are have a part of the initial book contract. To tell the truth, the chains are broken. Will also give you a little insight about the story that is being written now, the book that's going to be published now through the TVN network. This is a phenomenal opportunity that I am so glad God seen fit to just favor me with that opportunity at this time in my life. And this book tells more about the journey I took from 13 and a half years old. Some of you know me and some of you don't know my life. And God brought me out of that. That was something else. I think between the time that I endured a divorce and if I compared it with what I came through from a child, I think both of them was on the same level. And I cried many tears and experienced so much heartache. You would think I would be brokenhearted and never recover. But God, He's an awesome God. He can bring you out. He can restore you. Nobody knows the pain, the tears, the upset, the heartache, the darkness, the loneliness, the rejection that you feel when you go through situations and circumstances like that, and you can't tell anybody. I had to carry that secret for years. But when God gave me the courage to just get it out and tell it, I've been free ever since. And I made a promise that whoever comes in my pathway, they've experienced anything like that, if they want to know, I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them the truth because it's the truth that makes you free. All right. So that's what the fundraiser was about. That's what my endeavor is about. And that's just the project to tell how God took me on this journey and brought me out. He delivered me. I'm a different woman than most people would have known me from back in California. I was a little headstrong. When you could do some things, got a little education, you think you're on top of the world. God has a way of pulling you back. He pull your coattail, say, "Come back here for a minute. I need to temper you. I need to kind of set you down a little bit. Get in that corner over there and sit down and be quiet for a minute. I got to talk to you." And that's how He did me. And so, writing a vision, making it plain, this book was born out of that experience. The other two was born out of the I Got the Right One Now baby is born out of my love relationship with Mr. Eric Davis. God sent him to me. That was my gift. He was my gift. And I'm going to tell you, life is full of challenges, but God will prepare you for dealing with each other. No marriage is easy. You got to work at it. You got to put your time in. So Mr. Davis allowed me to open up our life, be transparent about the things that we endured. So we went on a journey. And even though He's the love of my life and he loves the color that's on my skin, everything about me, I thank God for Him. My heart is secure in Him. And that's a good feeling. Compared to, what people think the ideal husband or the ideal Prince Charming should be. We judge people by what we think we know on the outside, what we think we see on the outside, but God knows what's in the heart. And sometimes we reject people because of what we see or assume that we know about them based on what we see. In a short period of time that we see them, we don't even really get a chance to know them. We judge people before we even get a chance to know if they have a middle name, to know if they when their birthday was or what their favorite colors. How many people do you know are supposed to be your friend and they don't even know your last name? They don't even know if you had a nickname. I cherish the times that I had some friends in high school and grade school because back then, if you was a friend, you was a real friend. We get to go to each other's house, we sit down and get something to eat, sit in the backyard on the porch and shoot the breeze, talk about stuff that we didn't know we were talking about, just having fun, get to know each other. These days, friendships are hard to come by and hard to cultivate. We don't have the time anymore. Well, I should say, we don't take the time anymore these days. We're so busy. But I think we really need to change that. In the midst of what's going on in the world today, everything's moving so quickly. Everything's happening so fast. And times are changing so swiftly. What matters is relationships with people, because even your life is a short journey. You're here today and in the sense and gone tomorrow. And only what you do, not only for Christ is going to last, but whose life you have touched is going to matter. How many people will stand at your funeral and be able to say that you were a friend? Friendships is important. Relationships mean that to me. And basically, I believe God gave me such a passion for it. It's because of what I experienced in my own life, broken relationships, broken family. It's a terrible thing. Trust me when I tell you, when you can look around and people that you grew up with or were your family and your sisters and your brothers, and you have very little communication with each other over some reason that nobody knows, that you don't talk to each other, you don't share, you don't see each other until somebody dies. And that is awful. That is just awful. So this year in my life, I'm determined to have real and genuine friendships. I don't have to agree with you on everything to be your friend. That's the beauty of having friends. We can get off on each other's differences. We don't have to fall out with each other because I don't agree that you think the sky is blue and I see it's green. I mean, what? you know, it doesn't matter. But what matters is what is in our hearts, one towards the other, what the love, the concern, the care. And God created us to desire friendships and relationships. Those of you that have close relations with your family and your daughters and your sons and your in-laws, your cousins, and all of the above, cherish that. Cherish that. Once it's broken, only God can restore it. And we have a lot to do with that. God is not going to make you be restored to someone you don't want to be a part of for whatever the reason is. So, after having said that, I didn't really want to get off of that. I don't know where that came from, but I just felt like I needed to share. But this is the journey that I'm taking. I'm working on, at the present moment, a journal, a devotional journal. And I had a poll out on Facebook of those of you who might want a free copy of that journal. I may run the poll again. If not, those of you that are following me and supporting me, I'll let you know about these books that are coming out. And then there's also a book in process of a series called the Kingdom Dominion Authority series. And this deals with kingdom principles for us today as God's people. A lot of things that we do in the church is not kingdom. A lot of it is us. And we can see the results of us. And if we get back to doing it the way God had it originally planned it, we'll see more success in our endeavors to do kingdom work. I love Jesus' ministry. His stuff was so cool, so smooth, so straight to the point. He didn't have no secondary itineraries and agendas. He was on a mission to fulfill the purpose. And he did that with such simplicity and such meticulous detail and purpose that he didn't miss. It resulted in powerful, dynamic manifestations of God's power. And I want to operate in that. I don't want to operate on hype and mouthing scripture that you don't believe, or you stand up and say one thing and then behind the closed doors, oh, I said but this is reality. Wait a minute. If Jesus said it, then Jesus said it. That's just all there is to it. I believe the word of God just the way it is. If that's what he said, that's what he said. And I'm looking for grand results and miracles, miraculous things and supernatural events to occur because I believe just what he said. So we're working on that book, and it's in progress right now. I'm not sure when that's going to be released, but it's a work in progress. And I think there was one more that we were tabling out. Not sure if it's going to be something within, I would say within the next couple of years. The Simplistic Life, Simply Living. And it's a book of just simply living. Good advice, good tips, good things to do, just way of thinking. Change your mind. We endure unnecessary drama and stress in our lives because we think differently. We need to elevate our thinking. I want to be able to walk and talk like Jesus did without the issues, the drama. It's enough to deal with life itself. But there must be a way to live above that. And God does offer us the way to live above the pressures of life. You can deal with what you have to deal with, but you have a elevated thinking that does not allow you to dwell on what's wrong or what's negative or what's not going right. And then also to realize that you are the righteousness of God and that there is no weapon formed against you that shall prosper. And that you are made to be an overcomer. You are more than a conqueror. Don't you know what that means? You are more than an overcomer. You have been created to overcome. No questions about it. Didn't say it was going to be easy, but you've been created to overcome. All right, now the last thing I want to mention is I am also working on something that's very dear and near to my heart for the church. It's called charitable gift giving. Giving is a passionate thing in my life. And it seems that the more I want to give, the more challenges I have to overcome to give, because that's, again, a kingdom principle. And that's what God called us to do. And you can take it to the bank that the enemy of our souls do not want us to cross over there, because there's power there. There is ability there. You can get some things done. And in this endeavor, I want to educate and bring to the general public, particularly those of us in our culture and our church culture, about this way of giving. Most of us don't know much about it. We have not known. We just didn't know. And I want to help you understand that you can be a very significant giver in areas of church financing that is a little different than what we've been doing over years. And I'm not going to say that the things you've been doing is not working, but I will say sometimes we need to change. Sometimes those things are outdated. They're not producing the kind of results that you may have gotten 10 to 15 years ago. There is a way to do a thing, and there is a way to enhance that. And I want to bring that to the forefront. We're building an agency here. We're getting ready to get started where I can bring employment opportunities to the city of Jacksonville for those of us who are insurance agents or who are looking to go into the insurance industry. Not only do we get a chance to develop and share with others how to build wealth for their homes and their personal lives and their families and leave a legacy to their families, but we also be able to educate and direct you on how to leave a legacy to the church or the ministry that you feel is worthy to stand and continue after you are gone. There are some of us that have been in churches 10 or 15, 20 years, and that church has served you for years in a good way. Some of us have left those churches with a burden to carry us over our families, to experience, to have a decent homegoing. And we have left the church with a heavy burden, more than what you've given. Well, we can change that. If you, over time, can leave a gift of 10 to 15, 20, $10,000, $25,000 to a church where you believe in, that was there for you and your children and your family, that you got married to, you got baptized in, that they were there for you. They went through it. When you got sick, they were there to visit with you, took care of you. And then when your time came and the Lord took you home, they were able to do something for your family. Unfortunately, that is a heavy burden financially. And you didn't leave enough for not only your family, but you didn't leave anything for those who took care of your soul and your family, the natural and the spiritual. There is a way to do that. It's very simple. It is so simple. It just requires some discipline and a heart to give. We're going to be sharing, but our agency is centered around bringing that kind of opportunity here to Jacksonville. We're looking forward to getting it going by year's end. I will be looking for professionals to bring aboard, and we are on a mission to educate and empower God's people to do what he told us to do, give, and it shall be given unto us. Make sure that we are doing that in a significant way. And I'm not talking about those of you who have given your right arm. I mean, some of us, We've been given more than we've ever possibly could receive. And you did it wholeheartedly and unto the Lord. And you weren't looking for anything back. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying there are those of us who might want to do something different, want to do a little better, want to see a little different. And also, it makes a grand difference in the benevolence that's available, is supposed to be available to us through our churches. It is a sad thing for us to experience a need in our community and go to our local churches and be sent away because there is no funds to help, or you have to dig into the pastor's pocket to get help to pay your light bill or your rent, need food. The church is supposed to have a benevolence, and most of our churches do not. We need to change that. So that's my passion. And I am so serious about this. I want to help make a difference. So I will be sharing more and more information about that. The opportunities will be advertised. We will be looking for professionals to help build this agency. And your job will be exclusively to help empower those of us who are standing in place for the wealth transfer. If God is blessing his people now, I'm seeing things happening in the world that we live in, that transfer has occurred, and it is still occurring. I just received some data from a company that I'm working with that between now and the year 2029, there's going to be $41 trillion, $41 trillion wealth transfer in this country or in the world. $41 trillion to be transferred from one generation to the next. That's a lot of cash. So it's not that we don't have the money available. We need to know how to manage it. And God's people, that's an opportunity for you to grab hold and get on. And let's ride. Okay? I will be giving you grander details. Please pay attention to the things that pop up on my Facebook if you want to know. Please reach out to me. I do have a number you can reach out to me on my website, bernadettedavis.net. And you can also message me. The fastest way is text. I do spend a lot of time online promoting and communicating. So that's all I have for you today. Again, we'll be looking forward to these things to occur as we're going. I will keep you posted. I want to solicit your prayers for my physical strength and for our family to be in position to receive that which God has given to us and to stand and fight against opposing powers that will try to prevent us from moving forward. But we already know we're more than conquerors. God bless you all. I love you all in the Lord. I thank God for my friends and those that have rejoined my life from previous relationships and business relationships in California, and my wonderful ministry friends, Mark and Kim Thomas in Riverside, California. These people were a specific blessing to me then, and they are a special blessing to me now. I'm learning a lot of listening to them share. These people have something to say, and I just don't believe they just mouthing out things and believe that they have information by revelation. And we need to pay attention to who God's sending in our pathways. We miss what we need to hear because we got special people. We don't want to hear from certain folks, or our special few and selected few, or everybody that's in a big pulpit or a big church is not the only one that has a word from the Lord. God has sent a word to you from a person around the corner that you ain't never seen before. Ask me how I know. That's how I met my husband, my second husband. A total stranger, and God drops a word in his spirit, and he's not even saved. He wasn't even a born-again Christian, at least not professing. Drop a word in his spirit to let me know that God was with me, and I knew it was God because that man didn't know anything about me. I just met him. So I know God can use anybody to get his word to you. So let's have a listening ear and a heart to receive, and God will bless you beyond measure. Take care, my friends. God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.